Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Morbid Hour.
Welcome.
Welcome.
James Moss is in the chat. How's it going, James?
What's up, James? Fun show tonight, guys.
Yes, sir.
We're counting down our top 5 most underrated horror films. And then we're going to talk about thrash metal band Sepultura, the Max Cavalera era.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be a blast. So who wants to get started with their number 5 underrated horror film?
One of you guys want to go first? Go for it. I'm excited.
I guess I'll go ahead and start off. My number 5. It's going to be Dead and Buried.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't hear this one talked about very much. I think it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The creators of Alien bring a new terror to Earth. It will take your breath away, all of it. Yeah. It's a very, very different kind of zombie film, which is, I don't want to talk too much about it because it'll give it away, especially the twist ending, which I think might have inspired some other horror movies, which I won't mention because it'll give the ending away. But yeah, very, very good. I just highly recommend you check it out.
Great.
It's a good one.
Nice. Yeah, you don't hear a lot of people talk about that one.
Yeah. And I think it's great.
Great choice.
Thank you.
I guess for my first one, to me, this one is underrated in the sense that because the original is held in such high regard, sometimes I feel like this one kind of goes under the radar a bit. That is Psycho 2.
Yes.
It's an incredible sequel, and it was something that no one thought would probably be good. I mean, 20-something years after the first. But I found myself really invested in the story. You know, Norman Bates is out, and like it's this whole thing of him trying to get his life back, and these murders start happening, but he himself is even like, I don't know if I did it. I might have. I mean, he's just, you know, there's just so much good stuff in this film. You know, you have a Lila Crane back in here trying to get Norman sent back, and to me, it's a beautifully done film that I highly recommend people watch. Like, I don't want to spoil the ending, of course, but like even Psycho 3, that movie's more of a traditional style slasher, but this is more of this psychological torture stuff. So, yeah, great practical effects. Anthony Perkins, fantastic in the movie. So, Psycho 2.
Excellent choice.
It is very underrated. I agree. Definitely one of the most underrated sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I dare say that the suspense in Psycho 2 is better than the original in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, you could cut the tension with a knife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it keeps you guessing, you know, did he do it or is he being set up? You know, what's going on?
Yeah, that made it very interesting. I think Anthony Perkins did a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those movies that I know people would disagree with me with, but while I still prefer the original because it's the original, whenever I'm in a mood to watch a Psycho movie, 9 times out of 10 I want to watch Psycho 2. Just
nice.
It still does have some nasty like kills though.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I agree with James Moss. The Graduation Day is very underrated. Yeah, there's so many underrated horror movies out there. It was hard to narrow it down to 5.
Yeah.
But I think I came up with a pretty definitive list.
Nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's hard to pick just 5.
All right, mine's going to be Deadly Friend. Wes Craven. Probably Wes Craven's most underrated horror film, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie. I think it's just like the perfect teenager horror movie. You know?
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of romance. It's got a little blood and gore. It's got it's fun. It's got some cheese. It's got some great kills too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much fun.
Oh yeah,
I need to get that Blu-ray.
me too.
Yeah, I love that cover. It's so badass. She
Yeah,
was my big horror crush back in the day.
Yeah.
Christy Swanson.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's a good one. I mean, who could forget Basketball to the Head?
Yeah, I know,
It's
right?
the most memorable part, I think.
It's so cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Her skull just like shatters like a plate breaking or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That was so fun.
Oh yeah, Shocker. That's pretty underrated too.
That's another one, yeah.
Yeah. Great one.
I feel like some people talk about that. It's fairly well known, but nobody really talks about Deadly Friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have Cheetah Wolf views in the chat. How's it going?
What's up?
What's up, man? It's good. I'm glad you escaped.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, my next is going to be Tombs of the Blind Dead,
Ooh.
which I don't think it's talked about nearly enough. It's the first in the Blind Dead quadrilogy. It's 4 movies. They're all very, very creepy, very suspenseful. Definitely a slow burn. So if that's not your thing, I'd say steer clear of this one. But if you're into that, I think this is definitely one of the best. Yeah, the Knights of Templar, very, very creepy villains for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the ruins.
Yeah, great atmosphere too.
Yeah.
Like
I
really
definitely watched
gothic.
very gothic for sure. Definitely watch the unrated original Spanish language version,
Mm-hmm.
and not the cut English version.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tombs of the Blind Dead. Definitely check it out.
Great pick.
I like the sequels too, you know. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Been a good minute since I've seen any of those films, but
Yeah.
it's a great one.
Jose Gomez in the chat. How's it going?
What's up?
Like the second one, they go for the full gore effects, and they up the ante in part 2 with all the blood and nudity and
Yeah, Return of the Evil Dead.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I agree. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is pretty underrated.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Nightmare 2 has, in my opinion, the best look of Freddy. It's
I
like,
agree.
100%.
Definitely.
next up for me.
Shots in the chat.
What's up? Gonna go with Inferno from Dario.
Nice.
Good choice.
It's definitely one that I, in Dario Argento's filmography, kind of flies under the radar a bit because he has so many classics that are held in high regard. And, I think as a follow-up to Suspiria, it's not bad at all. Like, of course, I like Suspiria more, but this movie's still really good. It's still beautiful to look at.
Oh, yeah.
At times, it's almost like hypnotizing with how much the colors are used throughout. Just like, oh, let's go to the bathroom. Why is the whole bathroom green? I still think the practical effects are good. Now, of course, Dario Argento was very sick during this time, so Mario Bava stepped in to help direct some scenes. And I know Dario Argento isn't very fond of it, but I like it. I think Inferno is a really good film.
I agree.
Yeah, like you said, the visuals are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The lighting and it's crazy. It's very, very artistic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
With some crazy stuff too, you know, like the lady getting attacked by the cats and
Yeah.
and the guy gets attacked by rats. You know?
Yeah. Followed up by, you think a guy's coming to help him, but then he kills him too.
Right. That's funny. Like, oh, he's gonna help him. He's like,
Michael McNally's in the chat. How's it going, Michael?
well, my number 4 is going to be Alice, Sweet Alice.
Nice.
Definitely one of the most underrated slasher films from the 70s. Definitely. To me, it's like, I'd say next to Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, and Black Christmas, this is my next favorite.
For sure.
Love the atmosphere. It's creepy as hell. The creepy look to the killer, and it's a great whodunit. You don't know if they make it out to be the main girl, but you don't know. You're not sure because you can't see really who it is in the mask.
Yeah.
And the religious themes make it even more scary. You know, desecration of the Catholic Church. You know.
Yeah.
It's a very disturbing movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's definitely some unsettling scenes in that film.
Absolutely.
Of course, you have that piece of shit. What was he? A landlord, a neighbor?
Yeah. The pedophile dude.
God.
Yeah. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to see him bite it.
Yeah. Creepy shit. Creepy bastard.
Yeah.
But I think even the look of the killer is really cool for the time. The raincoat and that clear looking mask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a cool look.
Mm-hmm.
People should use that for Halloween. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. Like the raincoat and the such a cool look.
Yeah, very creepy.
I don't know that one. The Resurrection.
Oh, I have it. It has Chris Sarandon in it.
Yeah, Chris Sarandon's in that. Yeah. I've got it on VHS, actually.
I think it's another H.P. Lovecraft adaptation.
I believe so. Haven't seen it in years.
Oh. That's not really happened, isn't it? Chucky versus Leprechaun.
I hope not.
I haven't heard that one. Sounds good though.
Mm-hmm.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For my next one, I'll go with Alone in the Dark.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think it's a very underrated movie. Kind of a slasher, sort of. Donald Pleasance is in it, of course, as a doctor. Kind of similar to his Dr. Loomis character from Halloween, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got four villains, 4 escaped lunatics.
Yeah.
Cool. And Martin Landau and Jack Palance are 2 of them. So funny seeing them in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good one. I'd say definitely check it out. Some really standout scenes.
Oh yeah.
I loved Jack Palance in that one. He's great.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of the leader of the the quartet of killers.
I love when he first meets what's his name, the guy from the A-Team there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The new doctor, and after the other guy got killed, I guess, or he went to the lunatic asylum or something.
Yeah.
It's like, Dr. Potter! Happy trails.
Very enjoyable early 80s horror flick.
Mm-hmm.
You got the pyro guy. Yeah, Martin Landau.
Yeah.
It's like nobody else will give him a match, but the doctor gives him a match. Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God, the Oli Bowl one.
With Christian Slater.
So after we do this, I do have a few honorable mentions to go through because there was a pick from. This one, I don't think so far anyone would have disagreed with us because we've all had some really good picks. This one, some may disagree with. Halloween 5.
Oh, love it.
Like, I do feel like, is this movie perfect? No. But do I feel like it gets a lot of unfair hate? 100%. Like to me, this movie, it feels darker than Halloween 4, like in a gothic way. And,
Yeah.
there's some stuff in it that kind of feels a little Italian horror, like with the man in black walking around.
It does, yeah.
Like, I think, like, everyone has hated Danielle Harris having to be mute throughout the whole movie, and while it can be annoying, I mean, I think she does a great job conveying emotion without actually speaking, like scared, freaked out. And I'm sorry, but I feel like I would hang out with Tina. Like, yeah, she's annoying, but there are people.
Not a lot of people would agree with you on that one. Like the most hated character in the franchise, probably one of them.
Yep. The way Dr. Loomis is in this film, a lot of people don't like, but I completely understand it. Like, if you have tried to kill this dude again and again and again, and he just keeps coming, you probably would lose your mind eventually.
I know. It makes perfect sense to me. He's had enough. He's just done with it. It's like,
yeah, he's just obsessed.
Losing it.
Like, I mean, he's to the point where he's willing to use this girl as bait just to get Michael. So yeah, I feel like it's always had unfair hate, but Halloween 5, I just always loved it.
Good
Love
choice.
Like,
I like it more than most people do as well.
mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Mike Pope's in the chat. How's it going, Mike?
What's up?
How's it going? The Misfits, huh?
Cool.
Well, they're back together now. The original, all the original members, right?
Oh wow. Think so.
I think so. Yeah, Glenn Danzig's back in, I believe.
Yeah.
Jerry Only, of course, has always been there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally agree with that, James.
Yeah, very underrated.
So, next up, Scars of Dracula. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I stand by it.
I agree.
Most
completely.
underrated Hammer Dracula, probably Hammer movie, period.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the crappy bats,
Yeah.
it would be definitely way up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
You got Christopher Lee is fantastic. He's got more to do here, much more dialogue, and he's menacing as ever, is more brutal.
Mm-hmm.
He's just awesome.
I like how much screen time he has in comparison to some of the others.
Yeah. And I love Patrick Troughton as Clove is great.
Yeah, one of my favorite Doctor Who's. Great in that. NY FanCam 01 is in the chat. How's it going?
What's up?
I agree. Friday 13th Part 5 is very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
very fun movie.
I don't know how you can not like it.
I
Really.
agree. I think people don't like it just because it's not Jason doing the killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, I mean, Roy Burns has kind of become an icon himself.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll ever happen for Corey Cunningham.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Could do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me Halloween Ends is going to be your number one Hellhound.
No way. Nope. Don't worry. You too, man. Have a great night.
You too. Have a great one.
So,
My turn?
Yep.
All right, my next underrated horror film is going to be Night of the Creeps.
Yes.
I despise this Blu-ray cover.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, right?
There we go. That's more like
Yeah,
it.
that's the correct.
Yeah, that's the correct cover. Now, the thing about this movie is it's definitely well respected among diehard horror fans. It's not like disliked or anything. Like diehard horror fans definitely appreciate it for sure. It's definitely well respected. But I feel like it's just not. This should be as well known as like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. I think because it's just that great. I think it's so awesome. Tom Atkins steals every scene he's in. It's a great premise. Great little tribute to 50s sci-fi horror movies. All the characters are great. The cast is great. Great special effects. It just has everything. It's funny. It's fun. It's pretty creepy at times and pretty suspenseful. It can be gross. It's just got everything. It's just an awesome movie, and I absolutely love it. I really have nothing bad to say about it, and other than it just doesn't get enough recognition because it's freaking amazing.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
that's true. Like the general public doesn't really know much about it, you know.
Yeah, it's not known enough. It's well known, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
horror fans. It's well known, but it needs to be more.
yeah.
It's probably my favorite Tom Atkins role for sure.
Mine too,
He
for sure. Hands
just
down.
does his thing, you know.
Thrill me. It's Miller time.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I did with my picks too. I went with the ones that, like, of course, people know, but you don't hear it as much. It's not like I didn't go with the ones that like I'm the only one that knows what that movie is. But yeah, love Night of the Creeps.
Same here. It's so much fun.
You know, that movie is kind of like in its own genre in itself because there's a lot of movies with like little slithering things that go into people and turn them into something. Like Slither.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that Cronenberg film? Shivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, my next up, I love this film. That's going to be The Gate from 1987.
Oh, nice.
Oh, love it.
It's like, yes, it's a PG-13 horror movie, but this is 80s PG-13, so they could get away with some.
Yeah.
There's that really cool scene where the main kid goes outside, thinks his parents are there, and he like shoves his hands in his dad's face, and he like melts and all that.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Been bad.
Oh, I think this movie did a real good job at kind of the nightmarish effects throughout, like the dreamscape look to it. The kid Terry is my favorite character. He's a metalhead kid. He's cool as shit. So
yeah, I can relate to him.
Yeah, he was cool as well. Gate 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love the little creatures. This too is kind of in its own genre with the little monsters running around, like ghoulies, gremlins, critters, all that type. Uh, I remember for years, growing up watching horror, being fine with a lot of stuff, but for some reason, the scene where he stabs his own hand with the eyeball, I was always like, ugh.
Yeah. Ouch.
So
it must be like one of the first PG-13 movies that I can think of.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was still pretty early on. I think Red
Yeah.
Dawn was the first ever PG-13 movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Red Dawn.
I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, the gate is PG-13, but it never feels like it's holding back or anything. It's still pretty scary for a PG-13.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel watered down, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, for a demon movie, it's definitely fun, but I wouldn't say like it's to like the demons level where they start ripping scalps off and
Yeah.
but it's just a lot of fun. I've always loved it. The Gate.
I love it too. It's a great one.
Great pick.
Like yeah.
My number 2 is going to be Tourist Trap. Absolutely love this movie.
Great choice.
To me, it's like a horror classic. Like, I can't believe it's not more well-known than it is, It's so creepy. I love Chuck Connors is fantastic and like the dual roles,
Mm-hmm.
And man, he just plays like the perfect like old man country hillbilly bumpkin or whatever. And on the other side, he's this friggin' lunatic with telekinetic powers and awesome stuff. So creepy. The mannequins,
Mm-hmm.
really awesome atmosphere and just fantastic. Love this movie.
Very
And
unique.
you got the beautiful Tanya Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong. Charles Band production.
I've always loved that poster. It's always just so creepy looking.
Yeah.
Nice pick right there.
Yeah, I agree, James. Maniac Cop is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I could have easily made the list.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
Yep.
My number 1 is going to be none other than House.
House.
It's just not talked about enough.
True.
Even if it was talked about a whole lot, even if it was talked about ad nauseum, it still needs to be talked about more. It needs to be talked about even more because it's awesome. I love this movie. It's a freaking blast. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Yeah, William Catt is great as the main character, Roger Cobb. George Wendt is his nosy neighbor Harold. He's hilarious. Yeah, I love all the various rubber creatures and zombies that inhabit the house. It's just so much fun. It's a horror comedy, and I think it's just so amusing.
Oh, yeah.
I can never get tired of this movie. It always puts me in a good mood. It's just so much fun. Yeah. The sequels, not so much, but this one is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. I think it should be a classic.
Nice.
Yeah. We don't talk about House 4.
No.
I didn't even know there was one.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, every time the neighbor came around, in my mind, I was always like, Norm!
Yeah, Norm from Cheers.
There was some, I love House. There's some cool visuals, like the scene where he goes through the bathroom mirror and the thing starts.
Yeah.
That was almost very Evil Dead 2, the way it looked.
Yes.
Oh.
Definitely. It looked like some of those creatures at the beginning of Evil Dead 2. In the prologue.
Yeah, I love House 2. House 2, the second story, much more action, adventure, comedy type thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But still fun. Like, I love the grandpa in House 2. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
a 70-year-old fart. But, yeah, House 3, the horror show. That was a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Brian James was a great villain.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't know that was part 3 of House. So I just thought it was its own thing, like a.
It's House 3 outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Great pick there.
Thanks.
My number one, it's a hear what anyone says, because as of these days, it's rather hated much. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yes.
Like, what happened? Like 10 years ago, everyone liked it. Now everyone's like, "Oh, that's the worst thing ever." What?
I know.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, like this movie is. It's just perfect. It's so much. Like, if you put it compared to the first one, no, it's not going to be as good or effective. But
Yeah.
I still say it was still directed by Tobe Hooper, and it was his vision. He wanted to do it. So, like, I'm sure it would have sucked if someone just took it from him and did this, and everyone's like, "What the hell did you do?"
Yeah.
I mean, Lefty is one of the greatest characters ever.
I know, right?
He's awesome.
Stretch is a badass final girl who Leatherface falls in love with. And, of course, you can't talk about this movie without talking about Chop Top.
Of course.
Burn her like a rat.
It's unforgettable. How can you forget him?
Bubba's got a girlfriend.
Yep. I think one of my favorite lines in cinema history is, "Hey, lick my plate, you dog dick." Yeah. We could dedicate a whole show to this film. And it would be
I know, maybe we should.
Yeah.
Like a commentary. Enjoying it.
Drayton Sawyer is freaking awesome too.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. The only returning cast member, Jim Saito, for the first one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now see, I was this close. I almost went with Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 just because I love it, but I could not do part 2. I mean, like, to me it's always been a classic, and the fact that over the years it's just kind of just people don't like it because they say it's like too loud. I'm like, the original's
loud
too. Like the whole dinner scene of just nonstop screaming and screaming.
Very over the top.
Yeah. And
I'm glad it doesn't just rehash the original. I'm glad it does something different.
Yeah, that's what I love. And then that's what I love about it. It's not just doing the same thing again, you know. It sound a little different and it works for me.
Yeah. It's just, to me, it's classic. I mean, come here, nubbins. Where's
like all the things that you didn't get in the first one, like more blood and gore, more craziness, over the top,
a lot more humor,
wild acting, and a lot more humor, of course.
Drum Smash 88.
What's up?
Drum Smash 88 in the chat. How's it going, man?
Let's go.
I haven't seen that. I still have not seen Cherry Falls.
It's been a while since
I saw it a long time ago. I don't remember much about it.
Hey, Cherry Falls. I think that's the movie where, and you know the whole slasher trope of if you have sex, you die. Well, Cherry Falls was like the killer's only killing virgins, so everyone's like, we gotta have sex. So, what a weird.
Yeah,
that's a new one.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the unsung hero of the franchise.
Nice.
Agreed. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number one, the most underrated horror movie ever, in my opinion, Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I get why it is, because of the strength of the first two movies are two of the greatest zombie movies of all time. But So it's tough to follow in the footsteps, but I think they did a fantastic job with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the gore effects are the best in the series, I think. Tom Savini's probably his best work,
Mm-hmm.
And I love the characters. Dr. Frankenstein and freaking Bub is amazing. I love all the characters. It's scary. I love the setting and the underground army bunker thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a great claustrophobic feel to it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, how can you forget Captain Rhodes? How much of a freaking scumbag he is.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I just told you I was gonna shoot you if you didn't sit down.
Yeah, I think that one has the best looking zombies of the Romero zombie
Yeah.
movies, and the best
Yeah,
score
definitely.
too.
I agree.
It's a classic. I think it's a classic in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. It's always in the shadow of night and dawn.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Rightfully so, but it's still great, Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as great as it turns out, I still think, from what I understood, Romero had a bigger plan for Day of the Dead, and it was going to be massive, but the studio cut that in half. But even with that, I still think he put out a great film that was underrated.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And maybe it wouldn't. Maybe if it was bigger, it wouldn't have been as good. Look at, Land of the Dead. I'm never been a huge fan of that one, honestly. But you had a much bigger budget. It was a much bigger scale movie, and it's not as good.
Nope.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Romero was involved with a zombie film for almost every decade, 60s, 70s, 80s. He worked on the Night of the Living Dead remake in the 90s, and then 2000, Land of the Dead. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. It's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
And when was the Survival? Was that 2010, past 2010, or was it before that?
Diary of the Dead was like 2009, and then Survival was 2012. I think.
Yeah, so he made it that decade too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those last two were just not that good.
Yeah.
Yes, Basket Case is underrated. I agree. I love that movie.
Yeah.
There's so many that you could go with. Exorcist 3 almost made my list.
Yes. That was great.
It is tough to narrow it down, to the most
Yeah.
There's so many great underrated horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do a show just on underrated sequels or the horror sequels. Or
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I do have a few honorable mentions, I guess, because a top 5 was kind of difficult, but so I guess I'll start off with this one. Frankenstein Created Woman.
nice.
To me, the most underrated of the Frankenstein franchise, or the Hammer ones, anyways. I just thought they did something different, and I enjoyed it. The whole idea of putting a soul into another body, that whole thing, and it felt kind of slashery in a way, like a slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what was her name? Christina, the one that was walking around killing.
Yeah.
Her having a voice in her head telling her to kill. It was just interesting, and I've always really enjoyed it. But it's one of the Frankenstein ones I don't hear too much about, honestly.
True.
But there's quite a few of them that are pretty underrated. I don't think Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell is underrated. I don't really. But that one I really enjoy. This one, Wishmaster.
Nice.
It's one of those 90s movies that was like, Wes Craven presents Wishmaster. And it's like, didn't he direct it or produce it? Like, what?
Just slap his name on it.
Yeah.
But Andrew Dill as the Djinn is perfect. Yeah, he was so good in the first two that in 3 and 4, he was sorely missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Devoff made the first two, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I guess the final one I have, I mean, I could have sit here naming a lot, but I wanted to talk about Silver Bullet. I love this werewolf film. Now, of course, it lives in the shadow of werewolf films like The Howling and American Werewolf in London. But it's one of those movies that you just sit back and enjoy. Because, I mean, the werewolf itself kind of looks like a bear.
Yeah.
But Corey Haim and Gary Busey in this movie. And it was based off of the Stephen King story, Cycle of the Werewolf. I believe that was the title.
Yep.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Silver Bullet.
I like it a lot too.
Yeah.
The werewolf kind of looks like a demonic Alf.
Yeah.
Demonic Alf. Oh. That's a good one.
It's almost like closer to like the Wolf Man because he looks more like a man than say like the Howling or Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
They look like monsters, you know.
Yeah. It's a great movie though. I think Gary Busey's a hoot.
Yeah.
I love the idea that the priest is a werewolf, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene where the priest is having the nightmare was actually a really creepy scene where all of the people, they're like,
everybody turns into a werewolf.
That is awesome.
The effects of the werewolf sure look a hell of a lot better than American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
But yeah, you guys got any honorable mentions?
Yeah, you could go all day, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll name a couple. I'll say, Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yes.
Probably the most underrated in that franchise.
I agree.
So much fun, awesome gore effects, great characters. It's a great story. It's a little more serious and darker than, the original or part 2.
Yeah.
Damien, Omen 2.
Yeah.
Excellent sequel. Definitely does not get talked near enough,
I agree.
I love this setting, in the military school and I love the actor that plays Damien too.
Yeah.
I can't remember seeing him in anything else, but I thought he did such a good job.
I agree.
And to have a sequel like that with none of the original people and still be that good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to still have that great score,
Mm-hmm.
nasty kills,
Yeah.
Daughters of Darkness, I think is a great vampire film.
Right.
Very underrated, doesn't get talked about at all, hardly.
Mm-hmm.
About the Countess Elizabeth Bathory as if she was a vampire or whatever. An actual vampire.
Yeah.
Very artistic, very creative.
Mm-hmm.
Very erotic.
Yeah.
great giallo you don't hear nearly enough about.
Oh,
Delirium.
Yep.
By Lamberto Bava. Nasty kills. It's just classic giallo.
Oh yeah.
And my two excellent Hammer films that are highly underrated: Dr. Jekyll, Sister Hyde, and The Hands of the Ripper.
Yes.
nice.
Great.
I mean, this one kind of is very Jack the Ripper-esque too. You know?
Yeah.
Last one I'll say is Martin, George Romero. Martin.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are all really underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody Birthday.
Yeah, that one's underrated too.
Yeah.
I agree, James. My honorable mentions are Let's Scare Jessica to Death, The Fun House, House by the Cemetery, In the Mouth of Madness. I agree with I agree with all the ones you guys picked. But I was going to say Tourist Trap. That was one of my honorable mentions. What else? Oh, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
That's a good one. Burnt Offerings.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. Prince of Darkness.
Yep. Prince of Darkness.
Pieces.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
You guys ever see Deranged?
Yes.
Yeah.
The one that's kind of like, you know,
Ed Gein.
based on Ed Gein.
Yeah, loosely.
Loosely.
But it's probably closer to what the real Ed Gein was like than, say, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was also based on it, of course. Just Before Dawn.
Yeah.
Madman. Blood Rage. The Mutilator. I Drink Your Blood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Exorcist 3, which I already said.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Good picks. I mean, Exorcist 2 is a masterpiece in itself.
Oh, yeah.
How could you not mention that one?
Best movie ever made.
Oh, yeah. I have a question for everyone. What's a better double feature? Exorcist and Exorcist 2, The Heretic, or The Exorcist and Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen in the
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Repossessed, I think.
Me too. Definitely.
An easier watch.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just so bizarre, you know, like it's so weird.
Yeah.
And the sound, oh my god, that score, the pound, the pump, 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 like, like who came up with that?
Yeah. Pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
The Locusts.
I agree. Motel Hell is definitely underrated.
Mm-hmm. Farmer Vincent.
Yep.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead, that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys ready to get into some Sepultura?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. We're only going to the Max Cavalera era, so which would be the first 6 albums of theirs. Start with their debut, Morbid Visions.
Hell yeah.
I believe this was the only studio album not to feature guitarist Andreas Kisser, if I'm not mistaken. I think he wasn't in the band yet. But Max Cavalera was still there, of course, and Igor Cavalera, his brother, on drums. It was it was a lot more death metal oriented than some of their later stuff, which is more metal. Very heavy, very heavy. It's very similar to Morbid Tales by Celtic Frost. And I heard that Sepultura was inspired by Celtic Frost and Venom and bands like that. So pretty interesting.
I could see that.
Yeah. But Max Cavalera had a great, really heavy, kind of like a growl on this album, which was pretty cool. Yeah, great songs. Great album. Off to a great start.
Yep. And I know, let's get the elephant out of the room. Yeah, the production isn't great.
Yeah.
But, for their first go, it wasn't bad at all. I love it. I know that now Cavalera Conspiracy is now re-recording Bestial Devastation and this album put back.
Yeah.
We'll be here. But I've always loved Max Cavalera's vocals on this album because they're so different. They're very snarly and hissy, like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Raw.
My favorite song on the album, probably Troops of Doom. I love the build into that song. And songs like Mayhem, Troops of Doom, War, Empire of the Damned. To me, it's a good album. I really enjoy it. But if we're being honest, this band is like good, great, grand, wonderful. They just kept going better and better as these first few albums kept going. So.
Yeah.
I love Morbid.
It's just got that raw, old school thrash feel to it, like a lot of the like Exodus and the early Slayer and the early Death.
Yeah, it's interesting that this came out in 1986, which is around the time of Death, Seven Churches, and Death, Scream, Bloody Gore. And this album, you don't really hear getting the tip of the hat to maybe starting some of the death metal stuff a little bit. But a lot of riffs, vocals. But, yeah.
Yeah, very aggressive, very violent.
I wish they kept that original logo too. I love that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that better than
it's cool, man.
Cool.
I couldn't help but think of during the song War Slayer when it goes leaving a party, just war.
Oh yeah.
I love the title track, Morbid Visions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Me too.
Anything
else you guys want to say about Morbid Visions?
Great in itself. Like it.
The production kind of adds a bit of charm to it, though,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That rawness.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like one, should they remaster it?
Yeah.
But then again, they re-recorded it, so.
Yeah.
Good one, though.
And their next album, of course, was Schizophrenia.
Yes.
Which also had kind of more of a death metal type sound to it than later. It's a little heavier, maybe.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah, Max Cavalera still had that raspy, shrieky hiss almost.
Much
it
better.
Has a similar feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first one to feature guitarist Andreas Kisser, I'm pretty sure.
Still that rough production.
Yeah.
Yep, I love this album too. I mean, From the Past Comes the Storms is a brutal track. Uh, to the Wall, Escape the Void. Their first re-recorded Troops of Doom, which is on this album as well. Uh, I often go back and forth which version of Troops of Doom do I like better, Morbid Visions or Schizophrenia. Uh, but it's another album with Sepultura that I don't hear people mention a lot. Usually it's from Remains On that I hear what people talk about.
Yeah.
But a damn good album too, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I have become a fan now. I was telling you guys before we started. I really enjoy these early ones.
Yeah,
kick-ass, old school style thrash, man. It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy as hell.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh yeah. Good old Brazilian thrash metal.
Yeah. Of course, they really step up the game in the next one, right?
Yeah. Beneath the Remains.
Oh man.
This is the first album I ever heard by them. I was immediately hooked. Yeah, it's definitely kind of the start of the classic, their classic sound, what they're known for. I would say like they're less death metal, more thrash metal style. Yeah. Max Cavalera had kind of a different approach to his vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah, the much better production.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, big time.
Like you really hear the guitar, like clearly, you know, like
yeah,
it's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This album gets me so energized that, you know, like when I'm working out and I have it in my headphones, I want to do like 300 push-ups right there. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You get hyped, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you got some of their most famous songs on this album, like Inner Self, Stronger Than Hate, Mass Hypnosis, or as Max Cavalera says, Mass Hypnosis.
Yeah.
But God, the Igor Cavalera's drumming just got better and better. Like it is so
top notch.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Favorite song because I just love them all.
What do you think of that melodic opening there, though? Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pretty cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best.
Definitely.
Super, super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
They're gonna get all their albums now. Like I'm hyped. Like I got hyped listening to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to replay Stronger Than Hate a lot just because it's so good and fast and the beats are like look at me. And it's like, yes.
Yeah. Badass, man.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
What's your favorite track, Hellhound, on this one?
Oh, Beneath the Remains?
Yeah.
Maybe the title track, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stronger Than Hate is great too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, moving right along, fellas. I think we'll make it.
Yeah. So next we have Chaos AD.
What about Arise? I thought.
Oh,
Isn't Arise after that?
Oh. Oops.
You missed one. You skipped one.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, Rise. Yeah,
Oh.
I had them out of order. My bad.
This is the one.
Rise. I used to have this on cassette tape, and I used to drive around listening to it all the time back in high school. Yeah, this is a great album. Dead Embryonic Cells, I think, is an amazing song. It's so heavy, so wicked, so venomous. I love that riff. It just gets me pumped every time.
That's the first song I ever heard by them.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yep,
it's a great album. Really cool album art too. Really cool cover.
It's sick.
Yeah.
When we did our top 5 thrash metal albums a few episodes ago, this was my number 1. Like, I love this album. Now, I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite thrash metal ever, like of all time, because that's just a lot. That's hard. I mean, there's too many good thrash metal albums.
Yeah.
But this is definitely the cherry on the top. I love it. Dead Embryonic Cells, Desperate Cry, Murder, Altered State, and Dead Embryonic Cells, it has one of the best breakdowns ever.
Yeah.
Right up domination. It's so good. To me, everything came together in this album. Great production, great riffs. I love it. I could talk about it for a long time.
Same here.
Can you play that song, Dead Embryonic Cells?
I can play Desperate Cry. That's one that I've learned pretty well, but I haven't tried Dead Embryonic Cells yet.
I've actually never learned a Sepultura song on guitar.
Wow.
I probably should.
Yeah. So, I mean, you also have their cover of Orgasmatron on this album.
Yeah, but Motorhead. Yeah, I love the way they do it. I love their version of Orgasmatron. It's awesome.
A lot of people hate that. I'm like, nah, I like it.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
But at the same time, this would kind of be the end of the pure thrash era going forward. Like, the start of the next one, of course, with Chaos AD, they picked it up a bit. And I still really love this album, too.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little groovier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Refuse Resist is a great song.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Awesome opening track.
Yep, one of their most famous songs with Territory. That's a good one.
I love that.
Slave New World, Amen, Propaganda. I like it. It was also a bit different for Max's vocals as well. Like, he started doing a bit more screaming. I'd say screaming, but like, mark my territory, that kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they started doing more with like almost like the tribal drum stuff, you know.
Yep. That's where it started.
Like Territory.
Another good album. But you know, after this, they went in a direction.
Questionable.
Yeah, like, I don't necessarily completely hate Roots. Like, there's still some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's just, as I've mentioned before, I'm not the biggest new metal fan, but I'm not going to give some it if they like new metal. If you like it, that's great. You like what you like. It's just not a personal thing of mine.
Not my cup of tea.
Like for me, it went from like head banging, mosh pitting, thrash metal to more of like, hey, jump the hell up, like roads, bloody roads.
Like jump the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like these songs like "Broke," "Breed Apart," "Look Away," "Dusted." There's some good stuff on here for sure.
Radamahata is kind of a cool track.
Yeah.
You got Look Away with Mike Patton and Jonathan Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt that this isn't a very popular record. Like a lot of people love Roots the best. If you do, that's cool.
I do love the title, the Roots, Bloody Roots.
Catchy.
It's catchy, yeah. That's.
And this album would also mark the end of Max Cavalera era because he left and went to Soulfly, do his own thing. And I mean, well, I've said before, their vocalist now, Derek, he ain't bad. He's a really good vocalist. It's just I haven't listened to a whole lot of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I actually have one of the Derek Green albums, Dante.
Oh yeah,
Dante something, 14 maybe, some number. I don't know, some Roman numeral. Dante something.
That's how memorable it was, huh?
Yeah. I think I only bought it because the song "Convicted in Life" was a good song, but then the rest of it, meh. I'm not a big fan of post Max Cavalera Sepultura.
I just, one of the reasons like Max Cavalera and Igor Cavalera are like my favorite people in metal is because they've given us a lot of great stuff with Sepultura, Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy, Nail Bomb. They just do a lot.
Yeah, I forgot about Nail Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at what point did Igor leave?
He stayed on a little longer than Max did, like a few
couple more albums.
Yeah, I think he left around 2005, 2006. I remember when he left, but he stayed on a little longer than Max did. Then he was replaced by Gene Dalabella on drums, and then he was replaced with somebody else. I forget their name.
Yep.
So who's left? Just the one guitarist, Kisser, is it?
Andreas Kisser, yeah, and he was the original member, and Paulo Jr., who he was their original bass player, but he didn't play on the first few albums. Weirdly, he was credited, but he didn't actually play on them. Andreas Kisser did the bass on the first few albums. I guess Paulo was in the band, but he didn't.
Was he like the touring guitarist?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, but these days, it very much seems there was not a original member in the band. It was just like you go to any video of Sepultura now, a lot of the comments are like, "Wow, this is a great cover band."
Yeah.
Which, yeah,
Dave Grohl loves it.
I forget.
I didn't know
that. I actually did hear one of Sepultura's newer albums that came out, I think 2020 or something. That wasn't bad because it was definitely more back to the thrashy roots of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't bad. It's just like after Roots, it was like new metal.
Like further with the new metal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that though. They're disappointed that they went that route.
Yeah. And, I'll be completely honest. Like, while new metal isn't my thing, there are some aspects of it, like songs or certain bands that I kind of like because, unfortunately, I did kind of grow up in a new metal era where that was the hot thing. So like bands like Slipknot and Korn and Coal Chamber and stuff like that. That was just the hot stuff at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of those bands in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So did I. That was like the thing,
Yeah.
That was what metal was back, a lot of the other bands that kind of faded away,
Yeah. And
Right.
Coal Chamber was the band that did that song Loco, right? Like me loco. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like Mudvayne and fucking there's so
Usher
many of them. Static X.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was also a lot of bands at that time that I still love to this day, like Devil Driver or Chimera. That's how I don't know. Chimera, whatever.
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
They're back,
Yeah.
At least they've got together for a reunion. I'm not sure if they're back, but
Mm-hmm.
I hope they are back. I suppose they did start out that way, new metalish.
But a question: what is your favorite Sepultura? I'll say Arise, but
It was Chaos AD for me, but after listening to it, I think it might be Beneath the Remains.
For me, it's definitely between those three. Beneath the Remains, Arise, and Chaos AD. I'll probably go with Arise too.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a close one though.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of like Soulfly? Is it too much continuing in the same vein as like Roots?
At the start, yeah. I don't know. I like Soulfly. I think they're really good. Like I said, their new album Totem was not what I was expecting because I had always thought of Soulfly as kind of a new metal band. Thank you. But their new album Totem was way more thrashy and like more Cavalera Conspiracy, I guess.
So I guess Cavalier Conspiracy is more the heavy thrash style, huh?
Yeah, I think they sound more like Sepultura than Soulfly, in my opinion.
Definitely listen to Cavalera Conspiracy song Inflicted.
Yeah.
On that song.
I've got that album, Inflicted.
So good.
Is it Black Ark? That's a great song.
Yeah. Just great stuff.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Big K's in the chat.
So,
yeah, I'm going to be seeing The Flash on Friday, actually. Excited.
It hasn't even come back. I mean, it hasn't even come out yet, has it?
Yeah, I think it comes out Friday. Very excited to see Michael Keaton as Batman once again.
Yeah. I did see Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
nice. Was it?
Awesome. Really, really good. Cool. Loved it. I liked it better than the first one.
Oh, wow.
Bigger and better.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked because there's 3 movies that I'm waiting to see in theaters, but none of them are horror, which is weird. I want to see The Flash, of course. I want to see Across the Spider-Verse, and I want to see Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I'm a Transformers nerd, so
I love Transformers. Yes. I'm not big on the movies though.
I'm excited to do this.
I agree.
I loved Beast Wars back in the 90s, so I am kind of excited about this one.
That does kind of look pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I feel like there's too much like goofy comedy in them,
Yeah.
That Michael.
Like, I wish it was more serious. Like,
Right.
Yeah, Michael Bay put a lot of stuff in his movie.
I'll say.
Yeah, I thought about seeing that new Fast and Furious movie, but I just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. I'm not big on those movies either.
No. Like I enjoyed them like early years, like the first one and the second
yeah,
one.
I love the first one.
Once they started going superhero mode, I was like, okay.
At least the first couple were like grounded, you know. They weren't like ridiculous over the top nonsense.
Yeah.
I noticed the Meg 2 kind of is going that route.
Yeah.
I didn't think the first one was that like crazy. This one looks like it's just off the wall.
Yeah, that looked crazy.
It's going to like Sharknado territory or something. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't the damn T-Rex show up in the trailer or something?
yeah.
Yep.
That's a good question. Who is your favorite Batman?
Michael Keaton, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. He's the reason I want to see the Flash. You know?
Yeah.
He's the main reason I want to see it.
Yeah. Michael Keaton, he's great. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah.
One thing I've always loved is his cowl in the movie. He was always like,
yeah, he can't move his neck.
The funny thing is, like, in the first Batman movie, he's like second billing to Jack Nicholson, you know?
yeah.
It's almost like he's the co-star, not the star of the movie.
Yeah, definitely not George Clooney.
Yeah.
Hello, please. I'm Batman.
Absolutely not.
I'd
rather watch Adam West than freaking George Clooney.
Yeah.
Me too.
What was the one with bat nipples?
Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the several extreme close-up of people's leather-clad butts.
Yeah.
And cod pieces.
Well, guys, it was a great stream.
Yep.
For sure.
Blast.
Yep.
Excellent job.
Thank you. You too. Covered a lot. And I had a good time.
Yeah.
All in under an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, we covered a lot of ground in kind of a shorter time frame.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us here in the Morbid Hour. Till next time.
Have a good one.
Peace out, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah. You too.
You too.